Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to a WTF Friday episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am AJ, and with me is Joseph from
Discuss Metal Joe. I'm going to introduce myself, AJ. You're doing a great job, but I feel like I have to jump in and
Really, I got like 4 seconds in and you cut me off.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you're expecting. You know, I've seen the show most of the time, and I feel like interruptions is part of the game sometimes, so I'm just trying to fit in. I'm just trying to be the guy that comes into the group and says, hey, guys, I can play here too.
All right, smartass. All right, it's your show. Go for it.
I'm sorry, I'm not that angry at Pergils. Oh, he's serious now. He just wants it to be 100% like the Discuss Metal Star Trek ABV. That's a lot of labels. By the way, AJ, this is the Nerf Herder Council's Star Trek ABV WTF Friday. How many abbreviations can we get in all at once? You want to tell everybody what ABV is?
Yeah, so this is a backdoor pilot episode right here, guys. We decided that we really like to drink and we really like to talk Star Trek. So I know this is a Star Wars channel, but we're gonna do it anyway. So what we've invented here is a little game. It's part commentary, part watch along, part drinking game, and because we Trekkers and Trekkies love to abbreviate our shows to TOS and TNG and DIS and so on. Well, this was Star Trek ABV. If you're not drinking while watching, you're not doing it right. So the only thing you got to bring to the table is a sense of humor, a functioning liver, and a Paramount Plus subscription. Because we ain't going to be showing you Star Trek. I'm pretty sure that's a copyright strike, and no one would ever see the show again. So we have some ground rules here. On future shows, we will have a better presentation. We will actually put these up on the screen for you with counters and all that stuff. We got a lot of ideas in the works here for the layout. But basically, we're going to have 5 actual rules and a wild card for every episode. So once we pick the episode using a random episode generator, we will then figure out what our wild card rule is going to be for the episode. But to run these down so everybody knows how to play this game here. Number 1, Trek no babble, drink more water. Number 2.
Really? We're going to have a drinking game episode where we watch Star Trek and the very first rule is drink water? Really?
Yes, it's a come down. It's a big come down. But you know what? We've got enough other ways to drink on this show. So we're going to try to be at least a little bit responsible and force people to hydrate just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, there's always Trek no babble, right? But there's not a lot of Trek no babble.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be fine. Besides, we got some other great rules. We've got captain's rank, get more drank. That's actually any rank. So if you hear somebody just get addressed as lieutenant or captain or,
does sir count? We never decided.
No, that's not a rank.
Damn it.
That's not a rank.
That's right. It's respect. It's not a rank.
Right. So if someone just gets referred to by their rank, then that is a drank. Rule number 3, some kind of or variation thereof. So if we watch a Voyager episode, we're just going to be tanked. It's
right.
obvious.
Just start drinking, start shotgunning beers. I've got 2 or 3 Budweisers, and I have to open all of them at once because as soon as some kind of comes up in a Voyager episode, it doesn't stop.
Oh, and it gets better because the rules do stack. So if the line is, Captain, it's some kind of anomaly. Well, there you go. That's 2.
I've got these in the comments, too, if you want to pull them up one at a time. I know we're like halfway there, and I could have told you this 2 minutes ago, but I just wanted to see what was going to happen.
Oh, see, this is how good I am at StreamYard. I thought that was the private chat. I thought you were just giving those to me so I wouldn't forget them. So to recap, Trek no babble, drink more water. We actually wrote that more cleverly as Trek no babbling brook. But that sounds stupid, so we decided to skip it. Captain's rank, get more drank. So anytime there is a rank referred to on screen instead of a name, do a drink. Some kind of drink. Now, This one's fun. See drink, do drink. And it does not necessarily have to be alcohol. As long as anyone is imbibing a beverage of any kind, you drink too. It's a social.
We're not holding the glass. It's not in front of us. We're not sitting at a table playing 4D chess and there's cups of random substances laying around. You see someone put a glass to their face and imbibe that liquid, you got to play along.
Yeah, and absolutely, if an episode takes place of DS9 takes place in Cork's bar, we're going to get hammered.
Yep, and as always, I think this is the big one, the most important rule of all, AJ.
This is
number 5.
Violate the Prime Directive. Finish your drink.
Pour it in.
So I happen to have a nice tall whiskey and Coke here. God damn it! I hope the Prime Directive does not get violated because, oof.
I got about
and
4
you
of
don't
these.
Get to choose.
No, you do not. What's open? Put it in. So if this is an episode, or at least a first season episode of Next Generation, you're going down, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be in major trouble. Now, we talked about this though. Let's do a rule clarification. If we're watching an episode of Enterprise where the Prime Directive does not yet exist, you can't really have that rule in place, can you?
We talked about the original series, and I think where we landed with this was if something happens that leads to the Prime Directive, that counts. Because that's one of the reasons the Prime Directive exists in Next Generation, right? Because of all the shit Kirk did.
Basically, yeah.
So if we're going with a prequel series or we're going with the original series, we have to lean on if something happens that is the reason for the Prime Directive later on, I'm going to say that counts. Somebody had to make the first mistake, but nonetheless, there's a reason why you're not supposed to interfere with other civilizations, especially if they're not ready for space travel. Which means if we are watching the first episode of Strange New Worlds, well, we know what's coming, right?
And for God's sakes, don't chase a ball into a garden.
Oh, God, please don't. Don't. Whatever you do, Wesley, don't do it.
It's in the list. We might have to watch it.
I know it. We got a lot in the list, and thank your futuristic stars that other people on the internet have decided to create some type of generator for what episode of Star Trek do I want to watch. Are you hitting the randomizer here, or am I?
I happen to have it right here. And now I've already got this episode pulled up and randomized. Do you want to hit it again, or do you want to just go for it?
I'd say close your eyes, click the button until you hit stop, and that's where we're going to do it.
Oh, we're just going to keep randomizing until I decide to stop, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
I mean, if somebody wants
randomizer.
if somebody wants to comment in and say stop right now, AJ, then we'll listen to them. But at this point, it's just you and me.
All right, here we go. You're going to tell me when to stop, right?
Yeah. Here's the funny part. I haven't seen it change yet, but clearly you're clicking the button. Stop.
Okay.
Oh.
Apparently, this.
Look at that,
Never mind,
Voyager.
it's a web thing.
Season 2, episode 26.
Season 2, episode 26, Basics. 26, that would be... This is the season 2 finale, isn't it?
It might be.
Okay.
I admit I'm not 100% on my this is how many episodes are in Voyager, but let's talk about Voyager, because we got to pull these up now, right? Did you like Voyager back in the day? To me, it was just a third Next Generation era series. It was the ship that was in deep space, because if you're not in deep space, then you have to interact with the other ships. And I thought it was okay. I thought it was not as good as Deep Space Nine, but even in the beginning, Deep Space Nine is kind of claustrophobic. Granted, that's the point, but...
Yeah, so my take on Voyager, I got a friend of mine who, you've talked to him, my buddy Chris, he loves Voyager. That was his like favorite show. That's what got him hooked back in the day. He even named his dog Kess. And we agree. It's just a show of wasted potential. Like they had a lot of good ideas that went nowhere. Like if they had actually like if it was made now where they were allowed to actually track storylines from episode to episode and have characters evolve over time instead of hit the reset button, I think it'd be a much better show. But come on, we've all seen the mashups of like how many proton torpedoes do they have? Oh my God.
Enough.
Sorry, that's my Star Wars coming out. It's a photon torpedo, not a proton torpedo. My bad, y'all.
You and the Wookiee too.
Yeah, and I don't know how many shuttlecraft they went through, but Jesus. So yeah, there's a lot wrong with Voyager, but it had good intentions and good ideas. What do you think?
I got to repeat it. I like what they did as far as adding characters to the series, but eventually you have to get in all of your Star Trek stuff. Like, is it Deep Space Nine or Voyager that, they just decided to have Q show up? And I liked the Doctor, especially back in the 90s, and I thought it was cool because then you have cameos in the Next Generation movies that they made. I mean, First Contact, having the Voyager Doctor show up was just cool, but what you really wanted was everybody all in the same place, everybody everywhere all at once. And when they got to the end of the series, I thought it was kind of a cop-out that they're doing a time travel thing, and the whole thing is about Janeway coming to terms with the mission, but at the same time, what did you want? It was not Next Generation. It was, let's take a ship and throw it into deep space. So now you're not dealing with the same Borg problems. You're not dealing with the same Q problems. You're just dealing with the alien of the day, and that was a little more old school Trek at a time when the Next Generation was kind of changing the rules.
I think it's interesting that they went backwards, though, because actually, it seems like Deep Space Nine got to do more of its own thing once development on Voyager started. Because it was very much the standard episode of the week format until about season 3. And that's when they started spinning up pre-production on Voyager. And I feel like that's when, the network overlords were looking this way. So all the writers were like, oh, we can do what we want now. And then that show took off, but it got all serialized and everything. And then Voyager was not allowed to do that at all. Like, if you got a two-parter, it was like, holy crap, this is a television event. So,
which, ironically, this episode is a part 1. It is the last episode of season 2. So we'll have to be watching part 2 at some point. Hopefully this doesn't knock us on our asses.
Yep. Okay, so here's the synopsis on Paramount Plus. Seska lures Chakotay and Voyager to her, claiming that Maj Kulla is going to kill the baby she created using Chakotay's DNA. I forgot how pulpy this show was. Once he learns that it isn't his. Chakotay feels compelled to rescue his child, while all the time he fears it could be a trap. Original air date, May 20th, 1996. So, does that ring any bells for you, Joe?
No, it doesn't. I admit the series of Star Trek I've watched the least is not Voyager, but it is in the Next Generation era of shows. I feel like this was episode of the week for me, so I didn't really commit these episodes to memory. I'm sure it'll take me back, I think, once it gets started, but yeah, I'm not remembering this one off the top of my head. I am going to suggest, though, for our wild card rule, since this is the first episode we've done, and it's the first episode with 7 of 9 in it, can we say irrelevant?
We could, but you're going to be very disappointed.
She's not in the series yet
until season 4.
See, this is what's wrong with episode of the week. You forget the timeline of events.
Actually, she shows up in the finale of season 3.
Okay. Well, we need a good wild card rule here. AJ, what do you got for me?
I think a good wild card here. Let's see. We've got the damn Kazon here, and those guys look terrible. How about every time? So apparently, like, they're super chauvinistic, right? Like, they just think women are lesser.
Right.
So how about every time Seska bosses around a Kazon, take a drink?
Ooh. Bossing around a Kazon.
We good with that?
I'm good with that. Let's make
All
that
right.
official.
All right, the last thing we need then. The last thing we need is we need to know, what are you drinking?
This is the third time I've said it. I've got 3 or 4 Budweiser sitting over here waiting
So
to
it's
go
all
down.
Budweiser.
It's all Budweiser
All Budweiser.
tonight.
So if you got to do a shot, you're shooting beer.
I am shooting beer.
Oh,
if
man,
that upsets you, I'm gonna have to. Really? Give me a second.
Let's say, man, you got all the whiskey and stuff. Well, here,
Challenge
I'm gonna get
accepted,
weird.
sir. Challenge accepted.
I'm gonna get weird tonight.
I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and talk up what I've got here, because I have a couple of oddball things that I found at my helpful liquor store across the street tonight. How about this one? How about Protocol Spiked Protein? Yes, it's a protein drink with alcohol. So I've got 11 grams of protein and 8% ABV. Oh, yeah. Nothing can go wrong with a label that says the main ingredient is alcohol from sugar, and then at the bottom of everything it says contains milk in bold text. Who doesn't want a nice milky alcoholic protein drink, right? So if that one turns out to be a complete turd, though, which I'm guessing it will, we are going to switch over to the left-hand White Russian Nitro Stout, which is a white stout with coffee and vanilla added. That one is a much safer bet. So I basically got grown-up, hot chocolate here. If my fruity, boozy protein drink doesn't do the trick for me. And if all else fails, still got the old whiskey and Coke. So no problems. We are all set to go. Remember, if you're playing along, got to hydrate. Keep your water handy, because anytime there is Treknobabble, you're going to hydrate. That's how we do on this show. We make sure that we be at least a little bit responsible. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got our wild card up on the screen here. So I'm going to guess we're going to get a lot of mileage out of this wild card. It's almost 11 p.m. here on the East Coast. We got no reason not to party and have a good time. So we are all queued up, ready to start this episode. I think I hear my co-host Joe getting back to the microphone and the camera here.
That's right. It's me. You know what it is? We're going to put some jazz on it.
Oh, I actually have that bottle too. I could be drinking the same thing, but I'm not going to leave you.
You could be. You're not motivated enough, AJ, to be drinking the Blue Note.
I went with my staple tonight. I got my Evan Williams Bottle and Bond 100 proof.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with Evan Williams. If what you want is Tennessee bourbon.
It's just a good, easy drinking, basic, yeah. If you're mixing it, then yeah, it's $18 a bottle. Totally do it. If you're going to go for like a nice sipper, you're going to step up a little bit from the $18.
Absolutely.
But hey, I'm all queued up. Are you all queued up?
Absolutely. Did we advertise our spammy friend in the chat?
No, we are not going to give any. In fact, I thought there was a way to actually delete that out from here, but I don't think there is.
Don't worry about it.
Anyone on Twitch, apologies. You're just going to get spam comments, apparently.
I want to offer promotion of your channel. Let me type most basic thing.
Yeah, right.
All right, make
So
sure
anyway,
you take
no
the
one wants to
comment
really
off
watch
the
us
screen,
anyway,
AJ.
so-
Yeah, let's do this. You ready?
Oh, we're going to leave that comment up there. That's the wild card.
Oh, that's the wild card rule. You got to call out the other rules now. Don't forget.
Oh, I ran them down. I had time.
You got to
It
do
took a
your
while.
job, AJ. Come on now.
It took a while.
I did.
All right, so we're all queued up and ready to go. We're going to keep this up on the screen. So for anybody who tunes in after the fact, they'll know exactly what episode we're watching. And we're going to take little breaks at all of the commercial breaks in here to kind of reset a little bit, make sure we're all cut up to speed, and we'll do a countdown.
This is not Mystery Science Theater 3000. This is the Nerf Herder Council.
So, all right, I'm at 0, 0, 0. You all zeroed out there, bud?
All zeroed out, ready to hit the play button.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, engage. Oh, I automatically remember this.
You see the ship and you automatically remember it?
No, I remember this character, Ensign Suter. So this dude showed up in like so much stuff in like the early 2000s and the late 90s. Like he always played like a creepy dude. And he's a creepy dude in this show too. It's like he's very typecast.
He's got that Malcolm McDowell thing going on. You know, that cold stare, like, I am not the evil guy in this movie, but you don't know that. My plants.
And they gave him these like dark contacts too, so he's got almost like no irises. It's like all pupil. It's creepy. I think he's part Beta Z. I think that's why they did that. Betazoid. Sorry, Beta Z's the planet.
Right. He's not part planet. This isn't Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2.
Right. Yeah, he's not ego. So a quick backstory for you here, Joe, on this character. He is a serial killer. He's a sociopath. And he was calmed through a series of mind melds with Tuvok, but he's been confined to his quarters ever since he went on a killing spree. So now he's all like reformed, but you know, it's still in him. And now he wants to grow flowers.
Right. So he's turning into poison ivy is what you're telling me.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
The plants will re-inherit the universe.
Oh no. Tuvok's doing finger stuff with him.
Is he doing that thing where he's trying to teach him how to control his negative emotions?
Yep. Or maybe he's just doing like, here's the church, where is the steeple? Open the doors, and out comes the people. Captain Janeway.
Ah, damn it.
Seems like it. No, that's not some kind of...
Captain.
Oh, shit. All right.
Oh, that's not bossing around the Kazons.
This is my protocol, by the way. This is my boozy protein. Oh, God, this is horrible.
Right?
Maybe when it's cold, it's not quite as horrible, but this is horrible. God, and I have 2 more drinks to do.
Title sequence.
All right. We get to talk some more Voyager here. And good God, this is horrible. Joe, if you ever see this, don't drink it.
Oh, no. No. Hey, fancy beer is great, but tonight is a cheap beer night.
Oh, this isn't fancy beer. This isn't even beer. Except I presented it to the camera as you were gone. This is Protocol.
Oh, man. Okay.
It is a spiked protein drink.
Ugh.
And they even know what they're doing. If you look at the top, it says hashtag 100% unnecessary.
Dude, there's so many things wrong with the phrase spiked protein drink. I can't even bring myself to say them on your show.
Yeah, so it's got like stevia and monk fruit to sweeten it, alcohol from sugar, which isn't at all.
I thought that's how that worked.
And it contains milk.
Robert Picardo. No relation to Captain Picardo.
Right? Should be. Be awesome. You know, I was so impressed with these graphics back in the day. This title sequence where I'm like, oh, the ship, you can see it reflecting off the rings of the planet. It's incredible.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I think the effects on these shows still hold up. They're definitely not pristine, but there was worse sci-fi in worse sci-fi. There was worse CGI in movies 5 years after this show.
Yeah, and this was also that cutover time where they had physical models for a lot of the hero shots that would get reused over and over again. Like
Yes.
this one right here where the ship is just sitting there. That's a model. But then any like action scenes, then they would use like a cutting edge CGI. Man,
Why can't you?
oh my God, they are so close. Why are they so close to each other?
She's an intense, quiet talker. Like when she whispers, but she says it with extreme intensity.
She's in a giant room with only one guy, and she's got to talk to him like 10 inches from his face. It's weird. Would you give a shit about a kid that was made with your DNA without your consent or knowledge? It's like an even
Is she
more
asking
removed
for money?
version of a sperm bank. Well, good point.
On one hand, you'd feel violated, right? Like, how did you get that from me? On the other hand, okay, so you made that decision all by yourself. Don't blame me.
Right?
Try to give it the Worf response. It is still my blood.
Oh, God, this is what we thought Native Americans were like back in the 90s. I'm
I thought he
sure
was
the
doing a
actor is,
Maquis
like,
thing. That's right. Speak to me. Don't do it while I'm awake.
Yeah, they just got this all so wrong.
I mean, it's not as wrong as Brave Star in the 80s, but you're right. It's
This whole
pretty wrong.
non-denominational Native American shit. Like, oh my God, not good. So his dad's got the same face tattoo. That's weird.
Is that the family mark or something?
I guess so. Oh, they're gonna play like a stick version of Tic-Tac-Toe.
I thought he was doing Common Core math.
That's, yeah.
I'm not wrong. I wasn't there the day he came out. I don't know for sure.
Well, that's very ableist. What does his arms and legs count for? We're on cam, so I'm not saying some of the punchlines that are coming up. See, this stuff was always so bad. I mean, I guess this is kind of like the
Her name was
the
Talia
astral
al
plane or whatever,
Ghul.
like in Black Panther.
You make him the third Robin. Or the fourth Robin. Sorry. Have you seen Damian Wayne? He is not innocent.
This scene is so bad, it's making me want to drink. I'd rather pay attention to this than that. What's a kuchamoya? No.
His name was Khan.
I don't know, dude. I never met the kid. By the way, how scrambled is that kid's DNA? You got a Cardassian mom who doctored herself up to be Bajoran at the cellular level, and then a human. Like, I don't know how that whole genetic soup all works, but good God.
Isn't that the logic,
lucky the
though,
thing-
of the Star Trek universe? Everything is humanoid, so everything is genetically compatible at some point.
That was a really good episode of Next Generation, actually, yeah. They actually explained that they all had a common ancestor, and that's why they all look similar.
Which wasn't that a callback to Star Trek 6?
A little bit.
Why does God need a spaceship?
See, the fun thing was that ancient ancestor that showed up to explain it all to them at the end was played by the same actress who played and actually had the same look to her, makeup-wise, as the founder in DS9. So you think, like, maybe the founders created
Excuse me,
all of
Doctor,
us.
does that count? I'm
yeah.
counting it.
Well, that's a double. I mean, we're gonna count it, even though he never had a name. He's just the Doctor.
Technically, it's his rank.
Captain. Doctor. Damn it.
Damn it. How many doctors are there?
He's so cocky. I do love that. It's like a major personality flaw that he's got, and I think it's great. Are we holographic emitters? Are we counting that as Technobabble?
I was about to ask. That's a thing, though. It's even in universe, it's a thing, right? They're not just saying random words.
It's got to be something they invent for the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Aye, Captain.
Here we go. Wow, not even a you're welcome? Cripes. What's become of manners in the 24th century anyway?
You're lucky your title is not Mister. Oh,
Yeah, right.
fuck. Captain.
I'm getting through this.
This is a good one. Spoiler, everyone. The pilot episode of this, I guess it was the practice run of this, was not as generous with the booze, so I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, early DS9 does not really follow our rules very well. All right, and that's our first commercial break. All right, let's hit a pause.
Pausing
here.
right there.
All right, what's your time code? Because I actually screwed up for a second. I'm at 1420.
I am at 1421, so not that far. We're doing good.
Okay. Yeah, my stupid earbud doesn't fit properly. Thanks, Samsung. And every time I go to adjust it, it triggers the play pause. So, oops. All right, so what do you think? Good episode so far? Are we grading on a curve?
At this point, when you get to the first commercial break, if there's a ranking of a good Star Trek episode, it's is the tension there? And are you invested in the resolution? At this point, they brought a Kazon on board. It was a really tense situation. He mentioned a name of someone that is significant to the crew, if I remember correctly, and he was told by the Kazon that that person is dead. So it is a par for the course Star Trek setup, but I'm in.
It's perfectly middle of the road. Yeah. Oh, so that's right. You need a little bit of a primer on Seska, don't you?
A little bit.
So,
the name rings a bell, the character rings a bell, but why I'm supposed to be upset at the end of I can't recall.
So she is a member. She came on board as a member of the Maquis crew. You got to go fix your internet again, Joe.
I'll work on.
But for the audience here, and hopefully for you, if you can still hear me, I don't know. Maybe you're in the Delta Quadrant. Seska came on board Voyager as a member of the Maquis crew. So she came on board posing as a Bajoran. She was a Cardassian infiltrator to the Maquis. She was surgically altered, like I said, down to the cellular level. So even like intensive scans would have her pass as Bajoran. And then she betrayed everybody and ran off with the Kazon when she decided that Voyager wasn't really going to be of any use to her anymore. And she's kind of been messing with them ever since. And here we are at the end of season 2. So this is the first time we find out that she knocked herself up with some of Chakotay's DNA. But they apparently had a bit of a thing going when they were in the Maquis. So she kind of exploited that a little bit. So yeah, she's a real bitch.
I mentioned it a few times during the episode. This is a Talia al Ghul situation. Do we know? Does the audience know? That's the question. Does the audience know why she did it yet? Or is that the whole reason we're watching this episode?
This whole reveal just happened in this episode. We haven't
I'm looking
seen
forward to it
Seska
then.
up to this point since she was outed as a Cardassian and ran off with the Kazon. So yeah, this is the first time that she's circled back around to Voyager and said, like, I've got a kid and it's yours. So
Surprise, motherfucker!
Now you got to return the favor. What's this Talia al Ghul business? Because I'm not a follower of DC.
For AJ, who is a co-host of the Nerf Herder Council, but does not subscribe to Batman lore or comics in any way. Talia al Ghul was the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, who may or may not have
was a Jedi
gotten
in episode 1. I know.
Absolutely. May or may not have
He
gotten
has a
Bruce
particular
Wayne
set of
drunk
skills.
at one point and decided to steal his DNA and later on raise a child in under the guise of Ra's al Ghul. So the grandchild of Ra's al Ghul is the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. And for fans of the comics who remember Damian Wayne as the fourth Robin, there was a point in time where Bruce Wayne was supposed to be dead or missing or somewhere else.
The fifth Robin.
Thank you for getting it right. Finally, I was giving you that opportunity.
I just watched a YouTube video today.
We all
That's the only reason I know that.
Everybody forgets The Dark Knight Returns. Even myself sometimes. There was a point where Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian Wayne was Robin, so the roles of the serious guy and the Joker were kind of reversed. I don't mean the Joker the villain, the Joker the guy in the room who has a sense of humor. That's Damian Wayne. That's Talia al Ghul.
Okay.
It's basically this story if Chakotay was Bruce Wayne and Batman.
So how did Talia al Ghul steal Bruce Wayne's DNA? Because in this case, it was literally just it's sci-fi crap where any skin follicle laying around can contain enough genetic material to make it happen.
When a man and a woman love each other, and
Okay, so basically she got him drunk and they had sex.
yes, just to put it right out there.
Okay. Yeah, in this case that didn't happen. Which means your entire Your entire analogy falls apart. Great. Let's continue.
You ready to go back in?
No. Yeah, count us in.
I'm going to call it back in 3, 2, 1, engage. 1424 for anybody who's not streaming along with us.
Oh, I thought he just died in the last scene.
And he was feeling pretty bad.
Okay, don't the Kazon just look like knockoff Klingons, basically?
I was going to suggest 80s hair metal rock star California dudes who may or may not have been in softcore porn. Like, giant face.
But then they've got like crap in their hair too, like they fell in a mud puddle or something.
Was the strategy in the 90s when coming up with a new species of alien just add more layers to the prosthetics?
Basically, yeah. Okay, I'm going to call that Technobabble. I don't know what the hell a polymysthemia or whatever that is.
I was going to ask, is that a real medical condition? But then he explained it.
It sounds bullshit enough to me. I'm drinking some water. See, I feel like they let that go, unfortunately, in later seasons. They actually harped on the fact that like they were in a weird, unknown part of space with weird, unknown things in it.
Didn't that happen after... It might have been a Q episode. There was an episode where somebody sent them across the Delta Quadrant and got them a lot closer to Earth than they were before.
That's always their get out of jail free card with the plot is like, oh, we just chopped like 10 years off our journey. Great. It happened a couple of times. What? Or maybe don't go warp 2. The ship goes like warp 9 point something. It's like they're not even trying, you know? Are they in a space school zone?
I don't have any hairspray for my do.
Like, I can't even tell what that is. Is it a sponge? Is it hair? Is it supposed to be bone?
And that code sequence does what?
It avoids the defense net. Duh.
So what you're telling me is that Voyager has encrypted information in the computer, and he just gave him the password?
Basically, yeah. He's a traitor now.
The future.
I feel like we're going to get some ranks here. Damn it. Captain, there we go. By the way, we will accept some kind of or some sort of. That's all technobabble, but that's like common technobabble, so we don't count that.
Right.
Oh, all right, Lieutenant. There we go. Captain.
Here it comes. Captain.
This is not getting better the farther down the can it goes, by the way. There is evil sitting at the bottom of this. Captain. That rule is going to fuck us hard, my friend.
Yes, apparently Voyager is the time for rank.
I just killed it. By the way, I'm already down one. And that was a tall boy. Captain. All right. We're into the White Russian Nitro now. Whoa, I should have put that on mic. I forgot what it sounds like to open a Nitro can. Here, Joe, this is for your benefit because you were gone when I was showing it off earlier.
Oh,
White
very
Russian
nice.
Nitro. White stout with coffee and vanilla.
I understood those words, but I'm counting that as technobabble. Technobabble, sorry.
Damn it. All right. God, this is the one thing I love about watching these shows. These were filmed at a time when televisions didn't have nearly the resolution to show the clunkiness of the props.
Yep. Next beer.
Oh. All right, so we're both on our second beverage.
Yeah.
They really don't like that guy. You know, for being all evolved and stuff, they really don't forgive him just because he, like, killed a bunch of people. They've killed bunches of people, too, though. Oh, commercial break. All right.
You murdered people in space. And I'm at
You murdered our
22:16.
Here we go. All right, so I don't feel like we really got anything out of that act.
I think that there was some tension, and now we have another alien on board, and he gave us information that will allow us to sneak past the righteous indignation. We'll be able to now invade genus. I'm sorry, I'm quoting Pucky O'Hare because it's the same damn plot.
Yeah, so we just basically pissed away another 6 minutes of our lives to learn nothing. They're going where we already knew they were going to go. They just know how to get there now.
Yeah. So far it's working it's working itself out.
You feel like this could probably be a one-part episode if they just cut out some of the fat?
If you wanted to make the episode all about Chakotay, then yes, just get to the point, right? Because if this was a Worf episode, we would just be focusing on him. Like, this is the episode where he gets in the shuttle and goes to the planet looking for his father and finds the Klingons that are married to and or living with Romulans that are holding them captive. Except we have to get there, and we're on the Voyager ship, so nobody can really deviate. Because that's the ultimate goal of Voyager, right? They're always aiming for Earth. So we have to come up with this extra stuff to get us there, right?
That is the lame thing. Is like, it's basically, if they even call us out later in the show, is like, if you're really serious about getting home, you would just pull out a straight line, maximum warp, and not stop for anything. And yeah, then you don't have a show because that's pretty damn boring. Instead, they're like, yeah, we'll do some detours. We'll check out some planets and stuff. Let's go warp 3 today instead of warp 7. Like, they're not really trying.
I do always ask, why don't they just go warp 9, point it at Earth, run it till they run out of fuel? Because trajectory would just carry them all the way here, right?
Right? Yeah. No, that's the point. And apparently they just like to sightsee along the way. If I was 70 years from home, I think I might be a little bit more direct in my path.
Right.
So, yeah, basically these people are all idiots. All right. I think we're good to go. We still got another 24 minutes of episode to go.
We're halfway there, AJ.
All
Call
right.
us in.
I'm going to count us in. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Hit it. Damn that ventral. That starboard ventral.
Right?
Man, this guy's like no fun. Oh, there's a you're welcome. All right. Someone
Right.
has manners. Apparently, it's the doctor. Thanks, Chakotay. Captain Obvious there. Is that a title?
He called them Federation.
Yeah,
It's not,
I think
it's
more
not
of a
his title,
slur.
though. It's more of a slur.
Yeah. Okay, that's that dude's 3 seconds of fame right there. That extra who said nothing except staring a hole. That was some good. That was some good security acting right there.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Did she say increase speed to 1/2 impulse?
She did. Also, that was a captain.
They're at friggin' warp.
That's why she told him to slow down.
Good God, I'm so glad our rule wasn't anytime they say starboard.
That'll be a wild card in a future episode.
Ugh. What? That's not a saying. No one gets pecked to death by ducks. Janeway, what the fuck?
We're getting all the beers in tonight.
Right. At least I'm drinking beer. If I was pulling off this whiskey, man, oof.
I've got it poured, ready to roll.
Oh, shit, I forgot. That's a running gag is Neelix and his Leola root.
Hello, Clarice.
Right? Damn it. Oh, Captain. Sorry, there we go. I was gonna say I'm holding my beer ready.
Grab the wrong can.
There we go.
Another captain.
Lots of bridge chatter in this one.
Mm-hmm. Commercial break. 27:10.
Oh, yeah. Good. I need a break. This is not a beer that's supposed to be drank at this rate. All right, I'm gonna be a little less adventurous in future episodes. I don't think I want to drink a spiked protein beverage and a nitro stout at this rate. Oh, man. Good God. I almost want to drink some whiskey just to cleanse my palate at this point.
Well, dude, here's to you.
Ooh.
It's been a week. It's been some ups. There's been some downs, but here we go.
All right, hold on a second. Oh. I don't have a shot glass. Oh, I do have a shot glass handy. Never mind. I came prepared.
Ooh,
There
that's
we go.
good. That's really good.
This isn't, but who cares? Ow, that burns. Oh my God, does that burn?
Yeah,
Do
but
not
it's
shoot
good.
the 100 proof.
Oh, man, no.
Ooh. Man,
Dude.
this show better take off because my liver is taking a beating.
Here's the real question, though. Did you expect 30 minutes into an episode of Voyager that you would have more in your system than Deep Space Nine? Because we took a dry run at this. You know, no cameras, no nothing, just see what happens, and we were both lacking. We had an entire conversation about changing rules because we weren't getting enough out of it. And I told you, AJ, just give yourself a chance. And now here we are in Voyager. And now we're getting hammered.
Going to do us in. Yep.
Right. Like I feel like
Oh, man.
the next time we do this, I need an old, like, just a water bottle with a giant straw on it. Call that the captain straw, you know? Just taking a sip every time they say captain. We need a wild card too for Janeway, like
hat, yeah.
Oh man, me too. Like Mister. It needs to be a wild card next time.
Thank God there's not a Starfleet rank of Mister, because Janeway would have us with cirrhosis by now. Boy, man, she and Tuvok really like to go back and forth, don't they? Oh, man. We have not gotten... See, the whole reason I wrote the whole some kind of rule is because I was watching Voyager, and I was like, oh, my God, they say that a lot. Not in this episode, though.
Right. This one seems like they're
being... Star Trek hit or miss.
Hit or miss. Wow. They haven't really gotten in a fight yet.
Yeah, none of the good Trek fights. But, I mean, nothing's ever going to top original series for the fights, though. I mean, if you want staged fights, whew, that's the way to do it. All right, we about ready to get back into this thing?
I'm ready to roll in. Surprised anybody that's watching this after the fact, because we definitely started late, but you know, this is going to be a recurring thing. I feel like, you know, we just need a little layout. We need to throw some additional stuff on the screen. See, I can't even come up with a, you know, decent blah quiz statement right now. That's how much beer I have in me. I'm on my third can.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so yeah, volume is definitely a consideration here.
Woo! All right, well.
All right.
AJ, Captain, I need you to count us back in.
All right, we're getting closer to the K's on here, by the way.
Captain
So I wanna
Drake.
remind everybody of what our wild card rule is for this episode. It is don't boss around the K's on, which means anytime Seska, specifically Seska, which is kind of a failure here because I didn't realize that either she's dead or at least not going to show up for at least half the episode. If she bosses around a Kazon, do a drink.
Oh, come on!
Hopefully we actually see Seska at all. Who knows? But anyway, I counted us in last time, Joe, so why don't you do the honors?
3, 2, 1, go. I'm at 27-13.
Nope. Damn it. I'm back to the nitro. Captain. No, just kidding. There was no captain on that one. Thank God we didn't. Remember the rule was going to be anytime they say captain, we drink captain? Wait, captain.
Oh, shit. So many captains. That's what she said.
We're counting doctor, right?
I am, yes. That's his title.
See, they always make a point of how they don't have torpedoes to waste, but they fired
Right?
someone counted it. It's like over 200 torpedoes, and they only had like 70 to start. That's basically a sand crawler in space, by the way.
Yeah.
They just removed like the tank treads from it, but that is absolutely a sand crawler. Oh, what is this shit now?
Okay, that's a random language. I'm not counting that as Technobabble.
Yeah, no.
I bought the Blu-ray for Next Generation, and yeah, they redid some of the effects, but not that much. This show holds up.
Ah! The doctor's in space! That's so great! That was amazing. I swear, there's probably a holographic turd out in space.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
You always want a good angle, right? When you're coming about. Oh, a little foot porn. Okay. Oh. Oh, it's Togor. Togor. No, that was not foot porn at all.
Oh, I don't think you can show that on TV.
Ugh. If he eats something off of his own foot, okay, there's no way in hell that came out of his toenail.
Yeah, the math doesn't match up on that.
know. What do we got here?
He's going into a vein. Put the needle into your vein.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Did he just like grow and then explode?
Oh, dude, you didn't know this was an episode of Power Rangers? Rita Repulsa threw the staff down.
Grow! Oh no! All the K's on. Containment
Captain.
field generator. Yes or no? Track number.
I'm counting it and Captain. So beer and water.
All right. There's the water. And there's the beer. Wow. Is this going to be like Man versus Food where we do like a few episodes and all of a sudden it just like shows? Like we just start looking rough as hell? There's some good stage acting with the shuttlecraft.
Major Tom?
Voyager to Major Tom.
Ground control to Major Tom. And the arbitrary explosions. You know that thing that happens in Star Trek where the entire bridge explodes, but then they're fine?
Yeah. Bet you didn't know these ships are all made of rocks. There's always rocks in the rubble when something explodes. Oh, there comes the secondary command processor. They can't blow themselves up.
Oh, that's right. Does that count as bullying a Kazon? Shot him in the chest.
The Kazon were doing the bullying.
Did they shoot their own? Somebody shot a Kazon.
All right, I'm at 34:52, paused on black.
Boom. Oh, this is getting good, AJ.
This is getting good, actually. We got the crew being taken hostage on their own ship. We had a Kazon blow up and then blow up.
He got swole. Like really
with a
fast.
toenail bomb. That's a new one.
Right. Haven't you ever kept illegal substances in your toe and then gone into the
No, I
Olympics
keep them
and
in my
decided
ass
to
like
lift
everybody
weights?
else does.
Flex.
It's, the old prison wallet.
Ugh.
That's where you keep stuff.
Come on, dude.
Sorry, I just watched Deadpool 2 the other day, so I got prison wallet on the brain. All right, so yeah, now I'm invested a little bit. I'm invested in this a little bit. We got, spoiler, everybody in the cast survives. So I'm guessing that Paris isn't dead in the shuttlecraft.
Correct. And the doctor, good news is he was ejected into space, but he is a hologram, so that's okay. They actually went full Data is a robot before Star Trek Nemesis did.
Also, it's out of nowhere, right? Like this whole episode is like super dire. There's like not humor in it, and then they beam the friggin' doctor into space
as a distraction.
Where the hell did that come from? That was fantastic, dude. That was great.
Man overboard! There's no sound in
this-
space.
Hell, as long as they
Dude,
project holograms
let's-
into space, they should. They
let's
should have
talk-
projected him into space, but like use those mirrors, make him like 2,000 feet tall. Like, why is there a giant human in space?
So he's
I don't
Lord
know
Zed
if
in
it
this
run away.
scenario? I am the doctor. Dude. So let's talk about this for a second. The only sci-fi series to ever get this right is Firefly. Anytime Firefly shows you a fight outside of the ship, there's no sound because there's no air in space. But then when they cut inside the ship, it's vibrating and making a lot of noise. It's the only series to ever get this right. Star Trek, no, you can hear everything.
Yeah,
Including the
that's full
doctor
artistic
screaming at the
license.
top of his lungs.
Right.
or his lights. He doesn't have lungs.
Dude. Oh my God.
It's great, right?
Let's not poke holes in the realism of Star Trek, especially not of the holographic doctor. Because, wow.
Yeah.
Although they did actually recognize in one episode of Deep Space Nine, I think, and definitely in Lower Decks, exactly what most people use a holodeck for. And exactly what happens to all the non-holographic bits that get left behind after those activities are complete. Computer and program. Splat.
Splat.
See, what I
Dude.
wonder is this: like, you always see people like go into the holodeck and they like have like a nice dinner, for example. When as soon as they leave the holodeck, do they just get hungry again immediately?
Don't they talk about how everything is just built to deliver sustenance, like Soylent Green is people, right? Isn't that the whole point of the Star Trek universe?
Well, replicators, yeah, it's like it's organic material and it's got all the nutrients and stuff. But if it's holographic food, then it's nothing. So as soon as you leave the hologrid, it's gone. It's basically Chinese food. You're full until you're not.
And then you're full again.
Oh.
And then you're full
There
again.
we go. I legit thought your internet dropped for a second. You were just like stuck there. I was like, oh.
I'm really good at sitting still. I'm trying to deal with the
lost you
situation, AJ. You bastard.
All right, are you ready? Are you buckled in for the final act?
Oh,
It's always
AJ,
a
I'm
four-act.
so buckled into the fourth act of Trek ABV. Oh God, I started
Oh, God,
again.
no.
I need to stop.
Joe's going home, Star Runner.
Let's get back in here, Captain. Give us the countdown.
All right, I'm counting us down. 3, 2, 1, engage. I just hit 35 minutes even. Kim's looking pissed off. His hair's all mussed up.
The captain has some flyaways going on.
Same with Janeway.
Is Maj a title?
Yes, but use the full name, not just Maj. All right, here's Seska. Get
Yep.
ready. We got our wild card rule. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Oh my God, he just punched that woman in the face.
That's pretty good.
She's going to hit him back.
See? This Oh, there's the title. I'm going to call that bossing around the Kazon. Seska's issuing orders, and she's a woman? No, she's going to breastfeed right there on the bridge. Wow. I assume with Cardassian boobs looks a lot like the one from Species.
Oh, yeah, those were kind of vivid, weren't they?
Very H.R. Geiger-ish, as I recall. Oh, Kess finally shows up. Wow, I forgot she was even on the show. Okay, so Doc
Wait a minute.
ghosted.
Is there a punchline here where they turn loose the murderer and he just kills all the Kazon?
I'm not spoiling anything. Pretty masterful, though. Now we got the B story tying into the A story.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. God, the Kazon are pretty fabulous, aren't they?
I mean, they're good anonymous thugs. There we go. Boston around a Kazon.
Wild card indeed.
Thank you, Seska. That's 2 down.
Do another one.
Now I'm onto the whiskey.
Well, that reminds me, I got to refill my glass.
Pour another drink in my glass.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it.
Oh, I think it might be saved by the fact that I'm standing.
You standing desk motherfucker.
Oh, I forgot about this. The Voyager's got, like, landing gear.
That's right. Because they're a scout ship, right? So they can land on a planet. They can land the entire ship. God, they didn't use that very much, did they?
Mm-mm. They didn't have the effects budget for that shit. Come on now.
I'll say it. Next Generation didn't use the battle bridge enough, and Voyager didn't use the landing gear enough.
You know that battle bridge was actually a holdover from the original series?
Yes.
Allegedly, the original series ship could do it too. They just never did it. All right, so Voyager works better than I do. It can secure its thruster exhaust. That's looking a bit digital, but that's okay.
This would be a good time to make a Close Encounters joke.
Man. That's a fate worse than death. I mean, a communicator is basically a cell phone. Yeah, you take someone's cell phone, you're basically sentencing them to insanity and then death. Crap, I think we're about done here.
Nearly.
That doesn't look like Southern California at all.
No, those cliffs could be anywhere. Captain.
Oh, look at that shit.
Drinking water counts.
Oh, as a drink?
Yes.
That's our... Well, it's sea drink, do drink.
I haven't seen the water yet.
Really? I mean, I know the way shadows fall. There's
That's
a lot
great-
of daylight left.
That's a great band. Hey, you don't know the rotation of the planet to the sun.
No, I mean, I'd be a goner on that planet anyway, so as I lay dying, I might reconsider my statement. See, now I'm just going to drop metal bands.
Bring it on, dude. You're talking to one of the guys.
Right? You might have a podcast about it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's like a discography discussion or something like that. Oh no, Planet Snake.
Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, I want that. I want that to do something to someone.
That has Beetlejuice, Tim Burton Desert written all over it.
It's some kind of lizard. Oh, God, we got cavemen now?
Okay, I stand
feel
corrected.
bad,
Now is the time to make a Close Encounters joke.
Right? I feel bad picking on the visual effects because, you know, it was 30 years ago, but damn, dude, that's the best we could do?
I'm gonna let it happen. She's a Cardassian that modified her DNA to be
To look
human.
Bajoran.
To look Bajoran, okay.
And that's how she infiltrated the Maquis, if you remember the Maquis from Deep Space Nine and Next Generation.
Baktem Fa Mentane.
Oh, it's been 12 hours, apparently. Here comes the doctor.
Dr. Lecter, I need your help. I mean, the fact that there's a hole in the wall means nothing. There could be a force field there.
I was just going to say, is that just a hole into, well, not space, because they're still in the planet's atmosphere, but still. Oh, here we go. The killer is loose. You know, I'm going to say that's actually a pretty good effects shot. That was an actual photograph of like a real landscape, and they had to like map the shadows and all that sort of stuff.
To be continued.
There we go. Da, da, da. Now, the worst part about the format of our show is that we don't get to see the follow-up. That is all we get to see right there. That is it. How will it end? Nobody knows. Tune in for Season 3, Episode 1 of Star Trek Voyager. Not on this show, though, unless our randomizer really gets crazy.
Hey, dude, let's be honest here. If we had planned a little bit better, maybe we could be doing both episodes. But that's not happening tonight. I've got to be honest. I know we've talked about this too. You know, when we do a Trek ABV, the question is, how drunk are you? And even though I don't have any way to find out for sure, AJ, I have to ask you: are you feeling it? 'Cause I don't know about you. That was an extremely effective episode.
I feel a bit warm. Yeah.
Little warm. Okay, warm is good. Overall, I got to be honest. Any Next Generation era show is fine by me. I know people pick on Voyager, but I don't I don't care enough to pick on it. I think it's fine. It's a little episode of the week, but clearly it's a two-parter, so somebody put some time into that.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, we picked a good one. This was a decent premiere, I would say, but yeah, we got to steer clear of the two-parters.
Yeah. Whew. All or nothing.
All or nothing indeed. So, Joe, why don't you run down for the viewer? There's only one person right now. The viewer, who's probably a bot anyway that spammed us in our Twitch comments earlier. What do we have planned for this show? What can people expect in subsequent episodes?
People should expect that at least, twice a month, maybe, once a week, we'll get something out. I know there's the Nerf Herder Council likes to talk about all things nerdy. They like to talk about Star Wars. They like to talk about whatever isn't Star Wars and then immediately jump back into the pool that is, the Wookiee Life Day celebration. But what I want everyone to expect from the Nerf Herder Council's Trek ABV, whatever you want to call this, I'm just reading what I see on the screen right now because you made a sweet overlay, dude. I got to give you some props on that. We're gonna talk about Star Trek. We're gonna talk about nerdy stuff every single week or every other week, like I said. But when you see Trek ABV pop up on whatever feed you have, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, we're going to be watching an episode of Star Trek, and we're going to be drinking, and we're going to be talking about how much we love that episode. And I have to say, this one, I got to be honest, I liked it a little more than I expected. What about you?
This is one of the better ones. You can always count on the season finales to really step it up a little bit. So I think it's a little unfair to judge it against other episodes because, whatever money is left in the budget for that season gets blown out and you're going to have a cliffhanger ending. And I mean, it's, I don't know, off the top of your head, name me a crappy season finale of Star Trek. Not series finale because I mean, Enterprise totally takes the cake on that one.
Yeah, I got to be honest. There's something about how these series handle season finales in the most stereotypical way possible. No matter how we've been doing throughout the entire season, no matter what the ratings are, the writers need to put their time and effort into it so that people come back for more. If anything, some of the early series, and even up to The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, would have a big epic finale for the season. But then eventually that trend started, and it might be, and somebody's going to correct me, but it might be the episode where Captain Picard became Locutus. That was the first time Star Trek left you hanging at the end of the season.
You are correct. That was the first cliffhanger season finale in Star Trek history.
Cliffhangers are okay. I think cliffhangers, I go back and forth on this because nowadays I don't want to tune in every week. I'm not into the old model of turn the TV on and watch whatever's on. I really like the Netflix model of here's the whole series. Watch it when you want to. You want to watch the whole thing right now? Go right ahead. I'm a big fan of that because I like serialized content. I think if you spend more time with something and you can tell a bigger, more detailed story, that's effective to me. I think that's good most of the time. Movies are great, but TV shows can be great too because they can spend more time building characters and telling stories. I got to be honest. This is leading me into my question of AJ. Have you watched the season premiere of Picard season 3? I have not, and I don't know that I want to until it's all there, ready for me to go.
See, it's interesting that you bring that up because, yeah, I have. I don't have the patience to wait until the entire season has dropped on a week-to-week-to-week basis before I binge all of it at once. So, I mean, yeah, it's I think it's like 10 episodes per season is the way Star Trek does it these days. I don't want to wait 2.5 months to begin watching it. So, yeah, I did. That was your only question was have I seen it? Not anything about what do I think or spoiler, non-spoiler. So that's where my answer ends.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wait until episode 3 before we start talking about spoilers. Maybe that needs to be the next episode of Trek ABV or Trek AF. We got a lot of Trek in the works right now that we've been talking about, AJ, and we're gonna make it happen. I feel like this is the first real episode, even though we've done 3 WTF Fridays.
We did the Wrath of Khan episode. We did the Wrath of Khan episode on Nerf Herder Council. You've been on Lego live streams on WTF Fridays and stuff. So yeah, I mean we've got plans. It's just a matter of availability, you know. I mean,
right? You know, life.
I'm pretty sure
life's
I'm not
a
leaving
bitch
the country
sometimes.
again for a while. So there's that.
Oh, come on!
So as long as I'm still in the country and nothing else happens, then
I mean the internet's everywhere. You know, you could do this from a hotel room somewhere in London. You know, if London is calling, AJ, you can still do the show.
You know, it's funny you say that because the week that I missed from the Nerf Herder Council was, of course, John took the opportunity to gush over Kingdom of the Crystal Skull of all things, which is a turd of a movie. I don't care what he says. But because my internal body clock never really adjusted to Central European time, which is 6 hours ahead of us.
Damn.
That meant that he was going live with that episode at 2:15 in the morning where I was. I did watch it. I watched some of it at least because I was still awake. My body said it was still 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time every other Wednesday for the Nerf Herder Council, by the way. Set that notification bell on YouTube, and you'll be notified every time we go live, including when we do WTF Fridays. But anyway, yeah. Where was I going with that? I don't know. It's like I've been drinking.
I don't know, dude. There's been a lot of booze.
So, we were talking about spoilers and all that sort of nonsense and stuff first. Yeah. I applaud your restraint, Joe. Because
I'm restrained. Is that's the word you're using right now?
We're spoiled with remember back in the day when you got one episode a week of Star Trek and that was it. Except you only got that 20 some weeks out of the year. And then you had to wait a couple of years between series. A movie would come out every so often. And then there was 2004 when everything stopped until 2009. And then we got a movie. And then 4 years later, we got a movie.
But you don't want to talk about that movie.
Oh, file that away for later. File that away for later. We will talk about that. So, all right. Let's lay out the grand plan. Let's hope it happens. We're talking
the grand plan of
that's why we were talking about my time in
AF.
France and blah 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 blah. I was basically when can we do this show?
Because you're saying you came from France?
I did not come from France. I mean, I did to get back to the States, but
do you have a cone and can you wear it on your head?
No, I am not from France. Boy, man, you really went 90s. I forgot we're watching 90s Trek, so I should have been up on the cone heads.
What is this?
So, yeah, this idea of doing a Trek show has been in the works for a long time. Fortunately, the Nerf Herder Council has no audience, so no one's been beating down the doors asking when we're going to make good on it because my brother spoiled it last September, I think, or something.
You guys absolutely have an audience. The problem is you wait until the last second on a Friday, and I say the last second is 10:30 Eastern time to just go live with some random dude who just happens to like Star Trek, and you see what happens. But the good news is, we're gonna do a Trek show. We're gonna get something going here. I like what we're doing here, and I want to see it. I'm going to criticize for a second, AJ. I want to see this show with a little more effort put into the layout. We need to actually show people what we're watching and not just keep it to ourselves. And there's things that we can do to make it look better, and we're going to put a little effort. We're going to put some time into this. We're going to get it right. But we wanted to do this show tonight because I don't got anything better to do. Fuck it.
I hate to go all Star Wars on you for a second, but I'll quote director Krennic from Rogue One. Got to start somewhere. We got our first live one out the way.
That's right.
So
that's the most important thing.
There's one episode done. But this is not the only episode, the only series that we're going to do. So this is actually a spin-off show, right? Because we're talking about Trek ABV as a spin-off of a normal Trek show known as Trek AF.
That's right. It means Trek as fuck.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't have the censor button ready to go, so I can't actually do the bit.
So we're going to be yet another Star Trek show of some kind. We haven't quite pinned down all the details on that yet, but it's going to be Nerf Herder Council-esque in its style, just completely Trek-focused.
Why
There's
not?
enough Trek coming out these days that we can pretty much just do like a week-by-week episode review, and that's content for 52 weeks out of the year anyway.
And I don't know about you, but I've spent time and money, and I've got Blu-rays. I've been watching The Next Generation in its entirety again. I'm watching the original series in its entirety again, including the animated series. I finally got Lower Decks done to repeat the pilot we did. We need to release that at some point. I didn't know I wanted Lower Decks, but now that I've watched it, and I've experienced the glory that is a fully comedic Star Trek. Absolutely did I want that. I don't mean comedy like the Orville, because there was a time, there was a moment, and you've convinced me otherwise. You've convinced me to give Discovery a little more attention. But there was a point where I was 100% on board with the Orville and fuck Discovery. But then I got Lower Decks, and that's the let's just make all the jokes Star Trek comedy that I wanted. That's a great show.
We're not going to go into a whole episode of Trek AF right here, but I will say what you just said reminded me of the whole idea of like, well, you're either Team DS9 or you're Team Babylon 5.
Oh, man. Babylon 5.
You can love them both. You don't have to pick.
Do you remember in the 90s there was this weird time where not only was there multiple Star Trek series, but there was multiple series trying to be Star Trek, and Battlestar Galactica was nowhere to be found?
Battlestar Galactica was 10 years out still.
And then it would show up, and everybody was a Cylon, and, you know, it's not the campy series your parents told you about. It's the serious sci-fi. There's some good stuff out. I mean, I feel like this is a great time for sci-fi. I don't think it's all Marvel. I think the geeks have taken hold, right?
Oh yeah,
The comic book is the mainstream. That's how it is.
We were just knocking on the effects of Voyager, right? But that's again 30 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever it was. The production has gotten so good on television shows now that we're kind of pivoting back around to storytelling, because the visuals alone, it's just understood that the visuals are going to be fantastic. So now, all right, what do you have? Storytelling. We're really spoiled for choice now at this point. As much as I personally don't like Discovery, it's not my like flavor of Star Trek. It looks gorgeous. It's well made. It's on par with any of the feature films. Like every Star Trek show that comes out these days looks like a motion picture that would go into theaters.
Tell me I'm wrong. Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek we've had in a long time, and it looks like Star Trek.
Yeah, boy, talk about a tough design assignment. Can you imagine trying to take stuff from the 1960s and be like, all right, don't make it look too different, but make it hold up to 4K 2020's standards of television now, please.
The only problem I have, it's JJ's fault. The lens flares need to die.
I feel like Discovery has that problem more than Strange New Worlds. It's still a problem, but it's not as bad a problem. I feel like, sometimes you don't know your limit until you exceed your limit.
Right.
Hell, even JJ backed him off a little bit in the other two movies that he made. But that first one was like unwatchable. It's like, okay, that just looks like that is the visual equivalent of the audio on Saint Anger.
All right, JJ, what are we going to do to make this Star Trek movie, look what are we going to do to make it look classic? Well, in the 60s, they didn't have the lenses that we have now. People were slathering lenses with Vaseline, or I guess that's the 80s. That's the 80s workout look. But, back then they didn't have the filters that we have, and they had incandescent light bulbs and people using flashlights. We need something that makes the light look not so clean. I don't know. How about we just put lens flares on everything? Oh, so you mean this is how we're going to show the movie? Yeah. Doesn't this make it look like it's in space? Because this is totally 2001: A Space Odyssey. AJ, I'm in space right now. Do I look like I'm in space?
That's actually a legitimately great effect with your phone right there.
Hey, thank you. I did this with a cell phone. Who knows how much they spent to do it in CGI?
They paid so much money for people on set behind the scenes to be shining flashlights into the cameras directly. Because they weren't actually getting the cameras weren't actually getting lens flares from the lights of the set. They had to have extra people holding flashlights to specifically create lens flares.
So you're telling me what I did, what I'm doing right now?
Look shittier.
Turn it starboard, Mr. Drake.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's the Saint Anger. It's the Saint Anger thing. Can Bob Rock produce a pristine audio sound profile? Yeah.
Have you heard Dr. Feelgood?
Make a heavy ass fucking record? Yeah. So you mean they had to try harder to produce shit? Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say that until I'm told wrong by someone who knows, Saint Anger was bad on purpose. Because the follow-up could be not bad, and then everybody's like, it's not Saint Anger.
I feel like you're half right. It was bad on purpose, but I don't think they were trying to tank their own reputation. I think they were just thinking they were being avant-garde somehow.
In every other part of the world, Saint Anger is a #1 hit. They go to Europe right now. They can open the show with Saint Anger, and the crowd will be into it.
The songs are fine. It's the production that's
no,
the
they're
problem.
not.
But this is not a Metallica show. Okay.
Have you really listened to The Invisible Kid?
Okay, here's what you do. You chop out half of every song, and then you produce it with Black Album values. That's it. You've got a very listenable record then. For the most part, I think.
If you've heard the radio mix of Some Kind of Monster, you've got a listenable record.
There you go. See? Anyway,
we'll talk after the show.
Yeah, we're not talking metal. We're not talking Metallica. But there are certain things, like you were talking Lower Decks is like the greatest thing to come out. You know why it is? See that right there? You see that LaForge bear right there?
Oh man, that's a very blind bear. That's a very blind bear, AJ.
That is very blind teddy bear. But you know what? That thing wouldn't exist if it wasn't a thing in Lower Decks that my buddy Chris, the Voyager lover, got me for Christmas. So I now have a LaForge bear because Lower Decks made it a thing.
Who put a visor on that teddy bear?
Okay. I need you to create like an emoji of Homestar Runner, so you could just like voice
dressed up as Commander LaForge
as Homestar.
I mean, I'll do it if the money's right. If people want to pay hard-earned dollars to the Nerf Herder Council just for me to do a Homestar Runner LaForge, I'll do it.
And the copyright strikes that we'll get from Homestar Runner for infringing on their IP, of course.
Hey, it's parody, right?
It's pair of something.
Jesus.
Anyway,
get us out of here.
Yeah, right, exactly. So let's do a quick recap rundown of what we have planned for the future. So anyone who, for some reason, watches this thing and decides they might want to see some more of it, let's give them the 30,000-foot view. So Star Trek ABV is a spin-off of a more serious Trek show that we're going to be doing called Trek AF. Lens flares included. So we're going to figure out a regular posting schedule for the regular show, Trek AF. And Trek ABV is going to be the uncensored drinking game version of the show where we do watch-along / commentary / drinking game. And we are going to have a much better format for it. We're still working out the layout in OBS to make it work and try to figure out how much we can show to keep everybody up to speed without getting the live stream taken down for copyright strikes. So we're working on it. But expect to be able to follow along a lot better in the future without even watching the episode, because we're going to have counters of all the drinking penalties. We're going to have the rules up on the screen. We'll have a live chat feed. We're going to hopefully try to show some timestamps or some closed captioning or something from the episode that will allow people to keep pace without actually getting the stream taken down for copyright. And Joe, I think we can commit to, again, under promise, over deliver, 2 ABV episodes a month?
Absolutely. Because what are you doing on a Friday night? Watching Star Trek with multiple glasses of your drink of choice, and whatever happens, happens.
You know, as much as I love Star Trek, if there's something I'd rather be doing on a Friday night, it's my girlfriend. So... But fortunately, there's a custody schedule involved. So as long as she's got the kids, I've got Trek ABV.
And as long
And
as
she
you've got
has them
Trek ABV,
every other weekend.
everybody
You see how that
wins.
So either I have to get dumped, as long as the custody schedule doesn't change, and the relationship doesn't go any better, so I actually get every Friday instead. We'll be good. We're going to make it happen anyway, right? I mean, this is now live on the internet. I'm saying that we're going to make this happen.
And clearly
So-
the booze is working because you're giving intricate details into your personal life.
Well, you know, it was spoiled 7 months ago on the Nerf Herder Council, and we're just now doing our first official episode of anything in a public forum. So, yeah, timing is difficult, but we'll make it happen.
$1 at a time.
It's funny you bring that up because, yes, we're going to do this like a real show, not like Nerf Herder Council. We have Patreon tiers figured out. So we're going to do a real Trek show with real Patreon tiers for bonus content, and we're going to do drunken episodes. And we got Joe pantomiming right now for...
That's right. That's right. I'm selling the Patreon to the camera, even though the camera's up here somewhere. Where's my lens flares? We have to have lens flares on the Patreon page. In fact, I've decided we need to have lens flares on everything because that's the expectation now, right?
If you don't, are you even trying? I mean, what the fuck? My camera is bad at lens flares.
Point it at the lens. You have to point it at the lens. Otherwise, it doesn't
trying.
do anything.
Well, I kind of got some lens flares there.
Captain.
Anyway. All right, now we're really off the rails.
Absolutely.
It is also 12:30 in the morning my time, almost midnight for you.
Congratulations. You
All right.
have a wall clock.
We're going to do some quick rundown here to cap this off. Where
Better get quick.
Where can people find you?
Dude,
Online?
if you want to listen to all the heavy metal bands like I do, you need to check out all the podcasts at discussmetal.com, where we talk about your favorite bands, my favorite bands. We talk about heavy metal subjects. I'm going to let everybody know, if you're into horror movies, The Fright Lab is a podcast you can find on your podcast app of choice, frightlabpodcast.com. Check it out if you're into horror movies. Lucas is a madman when it comes to all things horrifying and scary. But I want everybody to subscribe to the Nerf Herder Council if you haven't done it already, because the Nerf Herder Council is where we go to talk about all things sci-fi. We just have this network of nerdy subjects that are all going on. I almost feel like we need to have a website somewhere where we can just put all this stuff up and display it in front of everyone. So what is your episode of the week? Do you want to listen to the nerdy stuff? Do you want to listen to the scary stuff or the metal stuff? That's what we need, AJ. I think we can work on that. At some point, you're going to be able to go to a URL. I think that's a destination on the internet, and it's trekafpodcast.com. It's not quite ready yet, but give it some time. It'll be there.
Sounds good. Basically, if you are antisocial because your interests are of no interest to anyone else in your life, we got you covered. because we're the same people.
One of us. One of us.
So, yes, absolutely.
One of you.
Now, this is a Trek show tonight, but you're watching us on a Star Wars channel primarily, as he alluded to, the Nerf Herder Council. I didn't realize how great of a title that was, by the way, because you realize it was supposed to be, oh, and we love our pups. We love our pups, especially adorable pups like that. My guy's over there in the corner. He's much bigger. I don't want to disturb him right now. He's taking a nap.
Meow. Motherfucker.
So the original impetus for the title Nerf Herder Council was basically like the Jedi Council, but we're a bunch of morons, so we're going to be Nerf Herders. But it also works as the Federation Council. So
which
it's
one of you
Trek,
is Yaddle?
it's Star Wars.
Is that
It's
Steve?
Moses.
Is Steve Yaddle?
Yes. Steve is absolutely Yaddle. Because Steve existed, and then he didn't. He was just gone one day. Actually, no. You can find Steve on Nerf Herder Games. He's doing game streaming now. He will pop up from time to time whenever there's something that we feel like talking about that is of interest to him. But otherwise, if you are into gaming and game streams, for example, then Nerf Herder Games is where to go. So, yes, we've got a lot of different nerd-based podcasts for you. The base show is the Nerf Herder Council. That is every other Wednesday at YouTube, at Facebook, and hopefully Twitch, if I can get my brother, the co-host, to agree to actually stream there.
What the?
We do our WTF Fridays, which can be anything from a Trek ABV. It's WTF because what the fuck? We have no idea what we're going to do. Sometimes it's Trek ABV. Sometimes it might be a live Lego build. It might be a movie watch-along. It might be Cards Against Humanity. It's whatever you feel like it being.
Reminds me,
Hit
when
us
are we
up on
doing
Twitter.
Cards Against Star Wars again?
We do not have that booked yet, but that doesn't mean we can't.
I want to book that. Like, I don't know, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Let's do it.
Just looking at the calendar here, making sure that is a... We're talking a Friday?
Friday or Saturday at least.
Okay. That puts us at March 2nd, I want to say. Am I right? Because I'm not.
I think you need to make it
I'm just
happen.
trying to do math. March 2nd, March 4th. Anyway, yes, that weekend is fine. Here's the thing, though. We need players. So, hit the socials. Anybody who wants to play Cards Against Star Wars, obviously you have to have your own deck of cards. We can't really help with that part. But yeah, hit us up on the comments section. Hit us up on Twitter. Hell, text us if you got our phone numbers. We'll get it going. We'll do something. Chaotic
AJ.
Truth Live, chiming in. The new ST is complete trash. So not a fan of modern Trek. Not a fan of the Akiva-verse. Akiva Goldsman trashing Star Trek. What do you think about that, Joe?
I gotta say, Strange New Worlds was a good start. Caught a couple episodes of, like you said, Akiva Goldsman, Star Trek, and I'm having the same reaction I did the first time I saw Enterprise. I want to like it, but I don't. But hindsight is 2020. The first episode, the second episode is not everything everywhere all at once. So while, like, you have convinced me to go back and give Enterprise another shot, I want to give that new series enough time. I feel like there's a lot of good new Trek that I don't have to like all of it right now, but I can give all of it time to develop. Strange New Worlds, that's where it's at for me. Lower Decks, I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I needed it. I need it. So we'll see what happens with the rest of it. We don't need to have it all at once. They want us to have it all at once because everybody wants you to subscribe to their streaming network of choice and spend all of your time watching their things. You don't have to. Watch what you want to watch. It's cool.
Yeah, and the great thing about having so many concurrent Star Trek series in production is there's a little something for everybody. You know, maybe you just love Discovery, and that is your thing. Well, that is a very different flavor than Lower Decks or Strange New Worlds, and that's fine. You don't have to love all of it. I just love the fact that no matter where you fall on the spectrum of fandom, there's something for you. It's great. Having watched all of it, I can tell you, Discovery, my least favorite. Maybe Picard also fighting for the basement, only because you take one of the most revered characters in all of Star Trek and you have him play an entirely different flavor of that character.
The third flavor of that character.
Yeah, you've got TNG Picard, you got movie Picard, and now you've got Picard. And it doesn't to me even feel like Picard. It's just Sir Patrick Stewart calling himself Jean-Luc, but I don't feel any connectivity with the other incarnations.
I do think that this is a long haul story situation, though, with Picard. The name is supposed to be literal. This is 3 series about a character that has lived 25 years longer, to quote Patrick Stewart, than any of us have fathomed that character living. So what is he going to deal with personally at that point in his life? And that's where you get Series 1 with its little twists and turns, Series 2 with its little twists and turns, and now Series 3 where you're getting the Next Generation reunion that we all really wanted, even though we had 5 movies of Next Generation along the way. Sure, so it's not like it's been that long since we've had Next Generation Star Trek, but I want to give it a chance.
Nemesis was over 20 years ago.
I know, but I didn't hate it. Was it good? No. Was Insurrection good? It would have been a better episode of Star Trek. Was First Contact good? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
So what they're going to do with this character, I think it's going to be a long haul story. It's going to turn into one of those, you got to watch all 3 series, but I do think you're going to find that Q did him a favor at the very end. I really do think that.
Okay, we're skewing into Trek AF territory as we were trying to wrap up a 2-hour live stream here. So
I told you to get us out of here, but you let me keep talking, AJ.
You know, we got a comment in here, and you got to talk about it, right?
If you want to talk about Star Trek on a more regular basis, you're going to have to keep your eyes on the Nerf Herder Council. Look out for Trek AF or Trek ABV, and we're going to give you guys a little more notice the next time we decide to go live.
we purposely didn't this time, actually, because we're working the kinks out. So if you saw us, great. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you liked and didn't. And if you didn't see this, then you're never going to hear this comment anyway. So y'all suck. Anyway, we're gonna sign off for now. My live counter says we're at hour 59 and 37 seconds now. So
you have 23 seconds.
Exactly. Let's wrap it up at the 2-hour mark and get out of here. You know, like a good feature film does. They can find you at Discuss Metal Joe. They can find me at Drake Adams 579. You can find the Nerf Herder Council at NHC Podcast. Look for us every other Wednesday on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Look for WTF Fridays of the Nerf Herder Council whenever. The W in WTF stands for what and whenever. So we'll figure it out. And in the meantime, you got Trek ABV to look forward to. You got Trek AF to look forward to. And keep tuned to us on all the socials, and we'll let you know exactly when and where to find us. Joe, any final thoughts?
Party on, AJ.
Party on, Garth.
That's all I got. It's been 2 hours. There was a lot of booze involved.
And
I'll do better next time.
And black thick-rimmed glasses. So I think my Party on Garth actually wins tonight for humor.
Easy listening.
$1 at a time.
All right, look. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will catch you next time. And in the meantime, Live long and prosper.
He doesn't know that he didn't hit stop. He removed himself from the stream. It's going to be really awkward when he figures that out, so I'm going to give everybody a little spoiler here.